Well, that sounds obvious. It's one or the other.
Yeah. What's happened to Kev? Oh, he's got his hand in the air. I think that's a nil start for Kev there. That leaves Will Howard very lonely on that grid position on the third row there. And waiting for the lights to go out. They go out right on cue. That's who's going to hook up. Oh, one of the rookies there from about row 5 or something like that seems to have got away rather quickly indeed. Made up a couple of places.
Josh Crisp was there on the end of row number 5 on the inside.
Well be Josh who's got away quickly. Always hard to tell with the orange vests on, of course. At the sharp end, I think that's Ron Harris who's got the jump ahead of Bill. If I'm right, no, Bill ahead of Ron.
Yeah, leading the way. It's number 27, Jack Bettis, who's out in front on the all-blue machine. Yeah, so Jack Bettis ahead one of the, I think that's Ronnie Harris and Dell Dowds up next.
Yep, I think that's Ronnie. Then you think it's Dell, yeah, okay, well, it's hard to tell. Obviously, we don't exactly have HD. Obviously, you've got the BSB on in the background on your computer there, and it's such a much better picture than we're having to deal with here. Obviously, that's for professional camera work, following it all very closely indeed. We've got to rely on line of sight. We'll wait and see how they get on when they go up to the top. Might be 3 and 4 abreast going into McLean's for the first time as everybody scrabbles for position up towards Coppers. We go then. Fractions of a second covering this lot.
It is Jack Bettis who's leading the way. I can see the number 96 of Will Howard who's up there in contention as well on the TSL timing screen here. But we're looking up there to make the way round Coppers then for the first time of asking. 10-lap race for the MRO Minitwins and rookie Minitwins with support from Properly Protected. So thank you to Simon Farquhar for all of his relevant support. But as the race leaders make their way in towards the Robert chicane and through the quick right-left sequence, getting the power on now, and that's Steve Costin who's out in front. So number 33 of Steve Costin, who he was up in the commentary box yesterday, Keith, really playing down his chances, but the rain is working for him, and it's Steve Costin who leads the way ahead of Ronnie Harris, Jack Bettis and Will Howard in 4th place ahead of Bill Harris, the man who took both victories yesterday. He is in 5th place, and that's Dell running a little bit wide.
I think it might have been Dell. I think it might be Howard up to 3rd place, looking for 2nd at Hollywood. Could he become gain the amazing accolade of as a rookie be winning an overall win? We don't see that very often at all. We'll have to go well back in the history books. I might have to ask Matt Weatherall if it's something he ever managed to do, because he was another guy who was very quick.
The only other time when a rookie in inverted commas may have been last year with Dave Lindemann, but of course he wasn't in the rookie class. He had all of his previous experience racing in South Africa. It didn't really count. We're not going to count him as a rookie. Didn't really count as a real,
to be fair, we get a lot of rookie races. So we're talking about Annabelle McCarthy earlier. You know, she's been racing for several years at the end of the day, but first time on a big bike, big track. And Lindemann would be the first person to admit that he wasn't that inexperienced, and he did, to be fair, because he never raced in the rookie.
Will's leading.
Will Howard's leading with the empty track. There we go. So the remarkable young man, I'm glad he did this yesterday. I would have definitely had to give him rider of the day if he'd managed this. It's a shame he didn't go out in the 600s earlier. I mean, he might go pop downstairs to his garage and go and get an entry in for the final 600 race, mate. Go out there and see what you can do. And waiting for them to come into our site. They should be heading towards the rocket chicane just now. Will Howard.
Will stay off the paint.
Yeah. That paint don't have a whole lot of grip on it. Side by side though, that's Costin and Bettis, is it?
That's Costin and Ronnie Harris side by side. Costin has the inside line, and will he take on that 2nd position? Yes, he does. Ronnie Harris slots into 3rd place there, and that's Jack Bettis trying to go the long way round on Metz Ducran. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Will it be the early race leader of Jack Bettis, who just promoted himself into 4th position? We'll have a look as they make their way through Craner Curve and on towards the old hairpin, but they're through the left at the bottom of Craner Curve now. Get it over to the left-hand side of the circuit, change of direction for the right.
Dell Dowd's a long way back as well, and Dell usually likes a bit of wet weather stuff, doesn't he?
Number 22 there, Dell Dowd's in 8th position, but that's 7th in class.
That's a long way down for Dell. By Dell's usually very high standard, but that does put him maybe a second or so away from the lead. Look at that group up to McLean's. A little bit wide there for the leader, I think. He's had to give 2nd best there.
Ronnie Harris, who's out in front, I believe. I can just about see the white crash helmet there of Ronnie Harris, number 660, and it is him who leads. He goes purple in sector number 1. Everybody going personal best, apart from the number 12 machine of Russell Taylor. He started 12th, but he's up in the 7th place. It's Russell Taylor as they started this 3rd lap.
Fastest man in that group. Who's down in 3rd? Steve? No, it's
Richard Cran has driven the fastest lap of the race.
Sorry, it's Harris.
Ronnie Harris.
Second place. Right into the chicane we come once again. The Robert chicane, the very quick right-left flick. And now Harris is out in front. He means to stay there. Costin in 2nd. And
That's Mitch in
that's
third
Mitch.
place.
Sorry, I'm getting the colours mixed up there. I can see that Will has dropped down to 4th place, so he's going to have to really regroup.
Make that 5th place now.
Oh, wow.
Jack Bettis goes through.
Yeah, so he was looking good there a lap or so ago, not looking quite so strong now. Everybody else has found their feet. Fastest lap of the race to the leader there, Bill Harris. So proved he can do it in the dry around the tricky Donington Park circuit. Looks like he can do it in the wet as well. Who's second of the rookies?
Second of the rookies is 195 Alex Cook ahead of Josh Chris by 0.8 per second.
So pretty much business as usual as far as the minor placements go as they scrap over those.
Oh, look at that gap for Ronnie Harris at the front of this race there, Keith. He's going through the left of Swans onto the right-hander of McLean's now. And that's, what, 10 bike lengths, 15 bike lengths between himself and the, is that Mitch Ducran up next? It's hard to tell because it's an all-black bike there with a little bit of pink on it, but from this distance we can't see it.
That sounds like Mitch Ducran. Little bits of pink bits. 66 is Mitch, isn't it?
Yeah, 66 for Mitch.
Yeah, I think pretty sure 66 again. 6th place it was the... it's really hard to tell. We'll have to wait until they get back to the line here. Across the line, let's see who's doing what to who.
Well, Ronnie Harris has gone purple in that first sector, as you'd expect with the clear track in front of him. As they make their way round Robert Chicane there, Steve Costin is back up into a second position. In fact, Mitch Ducran gets much better driving. He promotes himself into second position now on that black and pink number 66 machine. He's in second for Mitch Ducran. Steve Costin in third, Jack Bettis. Then it is Will Howard in 5th place. Still first of the rookie Minitwins for him, but the fastest lap of the race for your race leader, number 660 of Ronnie Harris, of a 1 minute 25.817.
So very impressive sort of lap time, particularly in these very tricky conditions. And obviously they've got to keep it upright all the way till the end. They're making their way down towards the old hairpin now. Haven't seen too much action at the old hairpin, up towards, as you say, Starkey's Bridge, Starkey's ghost of a bridge.
What's interesting, we've almost got 2 races going on now, because coming across the line, that's the number 34 machine of Johnson. They've got a big gap between 10th and 11th, and number 162 machine of Max Priestley on the all-white machine. He's back into the pit, unfortunately.
Old hairpin of yellow, so there we go. Commentator's curse works very nicely down there. As I say, we haven't seen much action at the old hairpin. Somebody looks like they've gone missing down there. Yep, somebody wandering away from the old hairpin there. So the commentator's curse working very nicely as always as the leaders come back down towards the right-left flick of the Robert Chicane as it is in this configuration. And let's see, is that still Harris leading? Yeah, very comfortably indeed. Now that's a big gap he's managed to accrue in the last few laps there. He's got that gap up to 1.3 seconds, but going quicker than anybody else now is Jack Bettis, who's come across the line in 4th place. He's half a second or so behind Steve Costin. Mitch Ducran on that lap actually goes a couple of tenths quicker than the leader, so Mitch definitely not giving up on this one. It is Ronnie Harris who leads. Bill Harris there goes past on Will Howard as well. So Will is kind of whereabouts where we'd expect Will to be. Surprised to see Del Dowser. I'm sure Del likes a bit of wet weather action, but that's definitely not showing in this race. It's a pity Dave Twyford's not out there, because Dave's form in the wet can be interesting as well. So Harris, Ducran, Costin, Bettis, Harris, Howard, Dowd, Cook, Crisp. Another good battle between those two for the minor placings. To be fair to Josh Crisp, he's the first one to admit that everybody else is racing for the minor placings whenever Will Howard is out there. As you say, very much a 2-race kind of battle there. It's around about 40 seconds before we see the next battle. That's Johnson leading Wilkinson, Lindsay, Fernley, as Jarman goes backwards by a couple of places. I wonder if we've lost Taylor somewhere around the circuit
down there at the old hairpin.
Yeah, that'll be your man at the hairpin. Altman may not have a particularly good race by his standards either. He's struggling with these tricky conditions as well. Leaders now down into the chicane. We might have some back marker action to play with, because they're 6 laps into the race. They're already coming up on the first back marker as Ronnie Harris with his white helmet out in front. Then it's Mitch Ducran who's got the gap down by another half second or so. Fastest lap there for Mitch at 24.797. So the gap to Harris is getting closer all the time. Costin, Bill Harris, Howard, Dowds, Bettis there losing out. He's gone down somewhere as well, mate. We've lost Jack Bettis by the look of it, because all of a sudden he's dropped off the leaderboard, which moves Cook and Crisp well inside the top 10 in 7th and 8th. In fact, the rookies have only got Dowds between themselves and the championship winner, Will Howard.
And looking at the TSL timing screen here, Jack Bettis not making his way in towards sector number 2. There is a green flag on the exit
That
of
suggests
started.
a bit of action down at
so we can't see the
Darkey's
outside of
bridge there against Schwartz, isn't it?
Schwartz and McLean, that was Darkey, Schwartz and McLean. But race leaders are heading in towards sector number 2 now. Ronnie Harris, he is the man who still leads the way, and he's pulled out half a second over Mitch Grant in that first split.
Right, here we go. Oh, somebody looking down there.
Merlin Lindsay, number 369. He just runs a little bit wide and loses track position to the 164 machine of David Adam Burnley.
His back markers could well have a part to play in this race. They're actually catching with Malvern May there, who usually doesn't, not a man who you associate with getting lapped there, but the soggy dog that comes across the line just a few seconds ahead of Ron Harris and Mitch Ducran getting closer and closer, 0.4 of a second. Mitch likes a bit of the wet weather action. He's definitely getting in there. We've got 3 laps left to go. Back markers to play with. Harris goes past on Bill Harris as well for 4th place. Could he land on the podium? Well, he hasn't. He's still got 5 seconds to go before he catches Steve Costin, but out in front, the battle between Ronnie and Mitch Ducran. This is going to be the one that's going to get us our voices up to fever pitch. Maybe not quite as much as we achieved in the power bike race, but nonetheless, we could well be reaching out for the inhalers to get our breaths back before the race ends. We wait for that long gap between Cook and Chris coming across the line in their little personal battle for honours, or minor honours, in the rookie championship. As
Ronnie Harris still has that advantage, but the gap is hovering around that half a second or so between Ronnie Harris and Mitch Grant for first and second. First sector times are coming in now, and look at that, it's bang on half a second with Ronnie Harris rising to the challenge. Purple in sector number 1 for him.
Have a look at Ronnie. He's catching those back markers very rapidly down the straight there, mate. They're going to come into our view. They're still so far behind now that our leader's going to be right on top of them with 2 laps left. So here come the back marking group, all having their own personal battle, going at their own personal speed. So there's one of them having a bit of a look over his shoulder, and here it comes Harris now. Ducran very much fit between the teeth. What's the gap in the lap times this time? Harris has responded. He goes fastest lap of the race, 24.2. It's a 24.8 this time for Ducran, so the gap goes out to 0.9 of a second. But now come the back markers. This lap is going to be all about punching your way past the back markers as quickly as you dare. So let's wait and see what happens there.
0.9 of a second there, as you said, between Ronnie Harris and Mitch Ducran.
Harris to Costin has gone out a little bit as well. In fact, Howard's having enough trouble with Bill Harris as well. Not sure where that suddenly come from. Chopped and changed a bit there. Leaders up towards McLean to once again.
Tailenders are going to start coming into play here, as you predicted there, Keith. They're through the right-hander of McLean's, on the rise up towards Coppice now, in towards the second sector. So last time around, it's purple in both sectors for your race leader of Ronnie Harris. He pulls out another 1/10.5 of a second over Mitch Ducran. That puts the gap at just over a second at the halfway point around this lap. And down the back straight they go then. We'll try and pick them up on the cameras here as they approach Roller Chicane. Looks like always on the inside there, is it?
People going for a few other people. It's very hard to tell who's doing what to who. We'll have to pick them up as they come across the line. This is going to be last lap flag time. 8 laps in. There we go, through the back markers. Right, how's it going to sort out there? Ronnie Harris comes across the line, 1.3 seconds ahead of Mitch Ducran, with Steve Costin in 3rd. He's very safely in 3rd because Will Howard is now around about 7 seconds, 8 seconds almost behind, and he has got, in fact, it's Bill Harris who goes past on Howard this time. Del Dowd's only half a second away from this action as well. Cook and Chris, here they come to the line, and again, tucked in very tight, trying to do what they can, and it is still Cook from Chris there. So now we're going to have to wait quite a while before the next group comes, because I think they've all been pretty much lapped there. So Harris, Ducran, Costin, Bill Harris, Ronnie Harris who leads the way. So family order is restored as per normal as far as the Harris family goes. Yesterday it was Bill Lowe who took to the Donington track, absolutely brilliant, properly like a duck to pancakes, and he is doing an amazing job there. So just...
There's Logan Parsons coming across the line now, and he's running 6th in the class. Looks like the number 81 machine of, I think that's James May, who's returned back to the, sorry, Malvern May, who's returned back to the paddock there in the retirement on lap number 8 for Malvern May. And of course we know that Jack Bettis, Russell Taylor and Max Priestley.
I did wonder if he had some problems because Morgan was going
Yeah.
unusually slow by his reasonably high standards. Here come the leaders then.
Checkered flags out.
Checkered flag, and it is Ronnie Harris who claims 25 points. Fast lap those gone.
Steve Costin just picked Vince Crown the line.
Oh wow, Steve Costin found some speed there, so that's a great result for him there right at the very end there. Bill Harris does indeed finish in 4th place ahead of Will Howe, then Del Downs. Cook and Chris arguing over the minor placings in the rookie mini twins, and they're going to come across the line just at one moment. I don't think we'll see any. Oh, will we? It's going to be a drag to the line, but I think it's going to be Cook just ahead of Josh Crisp there, but only by 0.063. Fastest lap of the race. Ronnie Harris does it exactly what he needs to. Opens up the gap to over 3 seconds. But, another good mini twin race. Not one of the classic mini twin races, but nonetheless quite respectable, wasn't it, Bradley?
It certainly was. 3